Kagurabachi is mostly known for its incredible fights and characters, as well as its very intriguing plot, which is pretty impressive considering that it's only 43 chapters long. It's gained a lot of well-deserved hype recently, and has quickly become a favourite among new-gen manga. To be fair though, it's also gotten a lot of hate, but that's actually a very good sign because it means it's doing the right thing. Like, if a manga has haters, it's clearly something worth talking about. Plus, most of the haters tend to be basement-dwelling Boruto readers who haven't seen the light of day for years. I mean, no offense Boruto readers, but like, your fandom sucks. Anyway, my point is that Kagurabachi is on the rise, and I think it's about time that I address something that I have wanted to talk about for a while now. Despite how popular Kagurabachi is becoming, I still feel like many readers don't fully understand just how much potential it has. It is a very easy story to love, not just because of the amazing art, but because the plot is also very intriguing. In a world of sorcery, the main character wants to hunt down the 6 powerful weapons and take them back from the bad guys. At face value, this plot seems very simple, but it's engaging all the same. When you reach my level of being an obsessive nerd though, you will realize that Kagurabachi's plot actually goes so much deeper than just hunting down some magical swords. So in this video, I'm going to break down every big mystery and unanswered question in Kagurabachi that most readers have not yet clocked onto, because believe me when I say, Kagurabachi's potential is so much greater than you realize. So let's get started. Now, I almost definitely will make a video fully explaining Kagurabachi's power system, but chances are, if you're watching this video, then you do read Kagurabachi. And if you do read Kagurabachi and still don't understand its very simple power system, then I'm sorry, but there's just no saving you. All I can do is recommend that you go to Specsavers because you, sir, cannot read. I feel like most readers have sort of accepted the fact that enchanted blades are the strongest weapons by a long shot in the world of Kagurabachi. I also see a lot of people talking about what the enchanted blades abilities could be and which one is the strongest. However, I rarely see anyone asking the only question that really matters. How the hell was Chihiro's dad even able to make them in the first place? The blades are made from a rare ore called Datenseki, which massively amplifies spirit energy to the point where you simply explode if you so much as touch it. Only Chihiro's dad, Kunoshige, was capable of harnessing its power and making it into strong and stable weapons known as the 7 enchanted blades. Now, sure, we can just brush past this and accept it. However, I think the secret behind their creation is going to play a massive role in the story moving forwards, so my nerdy ass simply refuses to do that. Just ask yourself this: if it's something we are simply meant to accept, then why was the entire first major arc focused around Sojo attempting to crack the code of harnessing Datenseki? Not to mention, it was recently revealed that Sojo did actually manage to create a way to temporarily harness Datenseki's immense power before it kills you. With Datenseki being the key to accessing the strongest form of sorcery ever, I just don't see how anyone can not think it's a bit strange that we have no clue how Kunoshige managed it. Now, the reason I brought this point up first is because it lays the foundation for literally all the other mysteries in Kagurabachi so far. Every single thing I'm going to talk about in this video can be tied back to how Kunoshige Rokuhira achieved what no one else could and crafted the enchanted blades. So as we move on, try to keep this information fresh in your mind. Or don't actually, it doesn't really affect me either way, I'm just sort of here to yap. So the next big question mark that we're facing in Kagurabachi so far is the Seiti War. Now, in case you have the memory of a goldfish, let me quickly recap everything we know about the famous Seiti War. Get it? Because, like, we don't know anything? Well, I guess that's not entirely true. We know that they fought with sorcery, we know that Shiba fought in the war, and we know that the war is over thanks to Kunoshige's enchanted blades. Beyond that, though, we know absolutely a all. Who were we fighting? No idea. Why were we fighting? No idea. And most importantly, do we even know that we were on the good side, or if there even was a good side at all? No, we have absolutely no clue. There is so much history there which is yet to be discovered, and I think there are much deeper secrets that only a handful of characters actually know about, but more on that later. And just like with Chihiro's dad, I believe so much of what's going on in the story right now is connected to the war in ways that we don't yet understand. The John Hishaku group, the Kamanabi, the Shinnuchi and its original wielder, all of them have something that ties them to either the Seiti War or Kunoshige Rokuhira. In fact, at the end of the most recent chapter, Chihiro actually acknowledges that he knows nowhere near as much about the enchanted blades as he thought he did. The Hishaku's group's suspicious willingness to let the strongest enchanted blade fall into the Kamanabi's hands is what made Chihiro reevaluate everything and begin his search for answers. And if you ask me, this pretty much confirms that Kagurabachi was never going to be as simple as beating the bad guys and collecting the blades one by one. There is clearly a much deeper plot which was always always present but is now finally moving to the forefront. At least, I hope it is. Now, I talk about this a lot more in my first Kagurabachi video, but there are comparisons to be made with Jujutsu Kaisen that I want to briefly touch on. And yeah, I'm a JJK YouTuber, I want to talk about JJK a little bit. Sue me. Just like with Kagurabachi, JJK started off with a very simple plot, a cool power system, and some great characters. And just like with Kagurabachi, that initial simple plot of collecting Sukuna's fingers spiraled into a much deeper and more complex storyline. But as much as I love Jujutsu Kaisen, it does seem as though Gege actually gave up on a lot of the plot points that he had originally set up. For example, exploring the Heian era, Kenjaku and Tengen, and maybe even the merger, although that's still yet to be seen. My point is that JJK has done immensely well despite not even coming close to reaching its full storytelling and world-building potential. Kagurabachi, on the other hand, might actually fix these mistakes and fulfill that potential if it actually follows through and explores all of the plot points that it has already perfectly set up in only 43 chapters. And Jesus Christ, I'm talking so fast, I'm sorry if no one processed that, I'm just yapping, whatever. I'm basically saying that it has crazy potential, but I got lost in the JJK source halfway through that. Look, I'm sorry, you get the point, alright? Now, a really important thing that I wanted to explore more is Chihiro's and Heiyuki's ideals in comparison to the common Nabi and their own goals. And this is especially relevant now, since Chihiro has just requested that he actually join the common Nabi for the purpose of learning more about what's actually going on. See, I have absolutely no doubt that Chihiro is a good guy, because his entire motivation is purely to protect innocent people from the weapons that his deceased father created. Heiyuki, the common Nabi's strongest active agent, is also driven by the desire to protect. However, both of their motivations are entirely their own and are not necessarily shared with others that they align themselves with, like the common Nabi. What I'm basically trying to say is that everybody on the quote-unquote good side are all driven by their own separate agendas. And it's this idea, combined with my nerdy overthinking ADHD arse, that made me very suspicious of one character in particular. And that character is Shiba. So far, Shiba is a very important character who we know very little about. What we do know is he was good friends with Chihiro's dad, he is incredibly strong, and we know that he is ex-common Nabi who fought in the Seiti War. Now, so much crazy shit has been going on with Hakuri and Chihiro recently that no one has really clocked onto how suspicious Shiba has been. First off, I want to know why he retired from the common Nabi if he's still young and willing to fight alongside Chihiro. People also tend to ignore the fact that twice now, Shiba has demonstrated some pretty brutal methods of interrogation, which makes me wonder if he has experience doing it in the war, because he definitely looks like he knows what he's doing. The thing which really stood out to me though was his reaction to Kiora Sazanami attempting to control the Shinichi blade. He looks very shocked and distressed when he sees it and says that Kiora can't control it, which gave me the impression that he actually knows way more about the enchanted blades than he lets on. And it does make sense for him to be worried about the Shinichi and the enchanted blades in general, because he likely saw them in action in the Seiti War. Now, I'm not saying Shiba is a bad guy, I'm just saying that I find it strange how he obviously knows way more than he lets on, and yet still hasn't told Chihiro everything, despite Chihiro wanting answers. The fact that he is ex-common Nabi should also mean that he isn't tied down by any restrictions, so I don't see why he doesn't just give Chihiro the information he has. Basically, I'm just calling it now that Shiba is the one to look out for, because he definitely knows way more than everybody else. Anyway, everything discussed so far are the main mysteries that I feel go unquestioned in Kagurabachi. However, for a manga only 43 chapters deep at the moment, there are many more obvious questions which are yet to be answered. For example, what is Chihiro's own innate sorcery without Enten? Also, who is John Hishaku and what is his group's goal here? Not to mention the fact that we also don't know where the remaining enchanted blades are or what they can do. And of course, there is still the question of when we are gonna learn about this mysterious original wielder of the Shinichi. To summarize very briefly though, Kagurabachi has some incredible artwork and fights, a load of well-written and entertaining characters, a very effective power system, as well as a very intriguing plot at face value, as well as a much deeper underlying story which is yet to get properly started. All of that in only 40 chapters should show exactly why it's becoming so popular so fast, and also why it has the potential to be the new face of new gen manga when JJK reaches its inevitable end. If you for some reason watch this video without reading Kagurabachi, then make sure to go read it, because it's definitely going places. Anyway, enough yap from me. Be sure to let me know if you want to see any more Kagurabachi content. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you guys very much for watching. Now piss off.